Good morning, and thank you for coming to watch Living Under 20. These are the recipes that I use to live under 20 net carbs a day. Today we're going to make a side dish. It is a Greek salad, and what you need is a large bowl. Today, I don't think I need to tell you you need a knife and a cutting board because that's pretty obvious. There's three kinds of olives. We have a sliced black olive, a sliced purple olive, and a sliced green olive. Normally I would use sliced pepperoncinis, but today we're going to use these mild banana peppers, and I use the Italian dressing from the Olive Garden as a dressing for it. We also use grape tomatoes. They have less sugar content than the actual cherry tomatoes, red onion, salami, and today, which I don't always do, but today we're going to go ahead and dice up some of these romaine hearts and put that in there. So let's get started. It's pretty simple. So simple. We're just going to dump all the ingredients in this bowl. And I buy them pre-sliced, but if you want to slice them yourself, that's entirely up to you. I don't know, it could be cheaper. I'm going for fast because I like grab and go foods. And I like things to be done quick and done. So that takes care of the bulk part of this recipe. Okay, so I like to put a little salami in it. Originally, when I started making this, I did not. And when I started putting some little pieces of salami in it, my husband and my son-in-laws all said the salami was a game changer. So, not a germaphobe. I just don't like the feeling of greasy on my hands. That's why I have gloves on. Now we're going to do the grape tomatoes. We're just going to put one little slice through the middle. You use whatever you think looks right. This is not going to have exact measurements to this recipe. This is, okay, I used a jar of that, a jar of that, a jar of that, and then once you get it in the bowl and you start looking at it and mixing it up, you say, I think it needs a little more of this or a little more of that. So make it, we're using low carb ingredients. And assuming that you're not going to belly up to the whole bowl and polish the bowl off, you should be fine having like a cup of it at a time. It's not going to be a high carb thing. It's going to be a low carb thing. A lot of fiber. So it's going to be a very healthy option. And you want to eat it kind of as a side dish. So maybe you make a hamburger patty with a piece of cheese on it. Maybe some really nice sauteed, butter sauteed and garlic mushrooms. And you put those down kind of like a steak on the plate, and then have this on the side as like your side dish. Plus it's got a lot of, it's gonna have this lettuce in it, so it kind of makes it like a salad. So it's just a really good addition to your meal. I wouldn't sit down and make it the meal, although my husband does have a tendency to just get a bowl of it and that's his lunch or whatever, because he just really, really likes it. Anyway, so we're gonna do a few more of these and throw them in, and then we'll get to the romaine and the red onion. And we use the red because it looks pretty. Anyway, and it just gives it a little bit more color. So we're gonna do the romaine. I like to cut the romaine right about here because I like to have about this much left over. I put these in my windowsill in a little container in water, and then they will actually produce more, and then you can just peel off these young leaves right there, and you can put those on sandwiches, or you get enough of them at a time, you can go ahead and put them back like you're doing now and make like a nice little salad. So throw this in here. Red onion. We're going to do a little rough slicing, and it needs to be paper thin. You don't want really thick slices because then you get like a mouthful of onion. And even though onion is really, really yummy, when you have just kind of that hint and that essence of onion, it tastes a little bit better. So you're just gonna do some thin slices. You wanna make them thinner than you would slice it if you were slicing for a sandwich. And we're just gonna kind of crumble them into here so that it breaks them up, because you know how onions stick together. Now see, I'd like a little bit more, so we're gonna just do a couple more slices here. And we're This is another reason why it's good to wear gloves, unless you like using the big spoons to stir it up. I have my gloves on, so now I can just get my hands right in there and give it a nice mix and get the ingredients all mixed together. I do this before I add the dressing, and then I'll do it again after the dressing, but this way I can make sure everything's kind of evenly distributed. If I do it without the dressing, it's not quite as messy. Okay. I think I want to put a little bit more romaine in here. Like I said, just eyeball it to what your taste is. If you want more romaine, then do like I am and chop up some more romaine and stick it in there. And if you don't. And if you don't want the romaine in there at all because you just really don't like it, don't add it. But it gives you a little bit more greens, and when you're doing a keto style diet, you'll find that the greens have a lot of nutrients in it that you need, like the potassium, and it's got calcium, and let's not forget, we all need fiber. So it's just a really good addition to your diet. So now, if it was up to my husband, I would be filling this full of spinach, but since I'm not a spinach lover, we will just skip the spinach and use the romaine. Now, if it pour dressing on it. Now I'm just going to give it a little turn, a little spin here, just to get it all mixed in evenly. So we have the stuff that's pre-crumbled. I usually use an 8-ounce block. This tube pack here will come up to 8 ounces. It's 4 ounces per pack. This is Best Choice, is the brand I'm using today. Normally, if you go to Super Walmart in the section by the deli over where they have those fresh pizzas, that's where you will find the feta cheese in the block. And I usually just pick up a block of feta cheese. I think it's in a blue package. But anyway, so we're just gonna open this and we're just gonna shake it out. So now I'm going to stir it with a spoon because I've already burned 2 sets of gloves, and this is just something very simple. Okay, now it looks right.